Call the meeting to order. I need a motion to accept the minutes of our February 10th.
Peter, we got to start with the public hearing.
What?
We got to start with our public hearing.
Don't we have to accept the meeting first?
No, we do our public hearings first, and we go right through the order.
I'm sorry, I didn't see that on here.
No problem.
Item A.
I'm going to get to that. I will share my screen. Share. There we go. Can everyone see my screen?
I can't see it now.
All right.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No problem. No problem. So here we are on item A.
Okay, public hearing on the sewer plant's budget. Am I correct?
Yep, we need to, someone needs the secretary needs to read the notice for the record.
Jennifer?
Yep, I'm here. Sorry. Give me 1 second. I'm pulling up my version on my screen just because it's a little small here. Okay, notice is hereby given that the Farmington Water Pollution Control Authority will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, March 10th, 2021 at 7 p.m. at the Water Pollution Control Facility, Conference Room 1 West Herberg Drive, Farmington, Connecticut, on the proposed 2021 and 2022 sewer operating budget for the wastewater treatment plant and the residential sanitary sewer assessments. The proposed budget sets the user rate for residential customers at $321 per year and the user rate for commercial customers at $2.78 per 100 cubic feet used in the calendar year 2020. These rates reflect a 0% increase over the current rate billed in budget year 2020 through 2021. The annual sewer service charge for elderly congregate housing units and congregate town-owned affordable housing units shall be billed as commercial accounts for the billing cycle. The residential sanitary sewer assessments for 2021 and 2022 will be a 0% increase. For R20 and under, $12,227.28. R30 and R40, $15,273.22. And R80, $18,340.91. Copies of the proposed budget and assessment are on file in the town engineer's office and town clerk's office, Town Hall, Farmington, Connecticut. Dated at Farmington, Connecticut, this 10th day of February, 2021.
Okay.
Thank you, Jennifer. Need a motion to accept?
Move approval.
Second.
Did we get a second?
Jim Foot, second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Motion passed.
And any discussion on the sewer budget?
No, like after our last meeting, I'm glad we decided to get it down.
Okay,
No, and there's no one online from the public, correct?
correct. There's nobody online.
So we're good.
Okay. So now we will close. We need to close the public hearing.
I need a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
I need a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passed. Thank you.
Sorry to interrupt. Did we lose Jim?
It looks like all of a sudden he popped out. So he's not back on yet. When he comes back in, I will let him in. All right, so now we can move on to acceptance of minutes, Peter.
Okay, need a motion to accept the minutes of our February 10th, 2021 meeting.
Move approval, Kevin.
I need a second.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Thank you. Going on to communication report.
All right, so for the summary report, removal efficiencies for BOD was 98% and almost 99% for suspended solids. We were just 26 pounds over the limit for nitrogen, which is good considering the flows we had. We're already trending back down, 29 pounds over, I'm sorry. We're already trending back down. So we should, I'm gonna hope normal flows by maybe the end of April. It usually calms down around then. Biosolids averaged about 19.82%. I can do the project update report next, unless there's any questions on the
Is that
summary
because of,
report.
Mark, is that because of all the snow and stuff we've had?
Yeah, typically between January and April, we get snow melt and then the rain when it comes and the flows go up. That was why I shared last time with you the graph to basically show our nitrogen removal is actually almost exactly the same that it was even in the fall, but the flow just at times doubles. So it's in response to the flow.
So with all this melting, it should slow down a little bit pretty soon, right?
Yeah, it already started slowing down and we're actually about 33% under where we were last year at this time. So the nitrogen's, it's still going down. It's just, I'm gonna make a graph next meeting and kind of compare everything.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Director of Public Works Project Engineering Report.
Okay, so we did generator work at Allstate Devonwood and the Harlan Road pump stations. At Tungus Road, we pulled a new one and we had some debris in it. We put in a new mechanical seal. And we finally got the pump in that we ordered in October. And that was one of the last pumps that we had to replace. South Road actually went in the beginning of March, so that will be in next month's report. But all the aged pumps have been replaced. Allstate pump station, we put in a new pressure transducer. Oakland Gardens, we replaced the fuel filter, which was also part of the generator work. We also looked through the Batterson flows. I think Kevin Ray had asked last month about it. I'm still going through some of the data, but we're averaging right now anywhere from 170,000 to 200,000 gallons a day. We only have about 6 months of data with the new station, but historically we've had anywhere from 200 to 250,000. So I'm trying to sort through when the mall was at full capacity versus now with COVID. So there's still some things I want to go through, but I would say we're running about 20 to 25% lower, which could be some of the lining, could have been some of the infiltration. We patched a lot of the wet well. We had a lot of leaks before. So that's where we stand with that, but I'm going to include that as well in March. I just wanted to touch on it today as well. For the pump station upgrades and collection systems, we put the new pump in Tungus. We jetted Planter Street into the lateral at Union School. There was a blockage 150 feet in, so we have this on our list to basically do twice a year at this point. We're working on right-of-ways and we jet as the weather permits. And we're pricing out control panels for Oakland and Allstate. Those are the last two INC panels, and at that point, all the pumps, motors, and control panels will be replaced. We could probably focus on infiltration at that point. Repairs and maintenance at the Wpcf. We had a primary pump 3 overload. We found a piece of threaded rod in the lobes, which obviously would overload them. So we pulled it out, monitored it, and it reset fine. We had a high amp on the grip pump. We were able to reset it and flush it. We reset the screening auger, and that was the same week. We had some high flows, so these are all common ones. For maintenance, we greased the flushing water pumps and cleaned the polymer injector and flushed all the discharge and suction lines. For plant upgrades, we had NIC and ourselves pull new wires for the blowers. The original one was a wireless communication signal, but like I'm sure you guys with Wi-Fi know, sometimes the Wi-Fi goes out, and that would happen in the plant sometimes, and there was no analog connection. So we pulled analog in order to basically eliminate that issue, so there's no blips anymore with that. And we're also working on tweaking a little bit of the program for DO control. We put a new gear reducer on the dewatering feed pump. This has actually been working pretty well. So our feed pumps now for the presses, we're getting about 30% more flow out of them combined, which comes out to about an extra dumpster a week, which eliminates some of the overtime we were talking about before. I'm also experimenting with some new polymers that could save some costs. So while we budget long-term, this should help a ton. We also started working on a hybrid tank for the primaries. And in a nutshell, we're just trying to get more food into the aeration tank. We kind of discussed it before that the more VFAs and COD that goes in, the better the D-nite and the phosphorus removal are. So we had a bunch of lab data that kind of pointed us in that direction. So once we get everything hooked up, we're going to start that up, and that should also help with the nitrogen this time of year, which is always statistically higher. And that's pretty much it. The other things we covered last month, we did have a safety training on trailers, and Santo walked through the plant. We're going to work on just updating some confined space stuff just to make it more efficient for our guys in the stations. And that's it, unless you guys have any questions.
We don't get a fee for the reconnect or the disconnect in the reconnect on Farmington Avenue?
Yeah, we collected a fee.
We did, okay, because it doesn't show, Russ.
Yeah, no, there should have been there's a permit to disconnect, and there will be a permit. It should have.
Yeah, that's the normal fee we have, right?
Yeah, $50.
Oh, $50?
That's all it is.
Oh, okay, all right.
So, and then what it will do is the new building will collect an assessment for the new building. This is down. Oh, I'm sorry.
This is for 784 Farmington Avenue.
Oh, sorry, I was thinking over by Open Gardens.
No.
Yeah. So this one, yeah, they paid the fee. I don't know why. That's just a typo.
Okay.
That was the only action there. We'll go back up to that. And I think that's about it.
You got any unfinished business?
Nothing.
Anybody got any questions or on anything that was just covered? I
No,
guess not.
keep
I
it
guess
running smoothly.
I guess we're okay then, so I guess we can have a motion to adjourn our meeting.
Hey, Peter. Sorry, I thought you meant questions on anything we just discussed in terms of what Mark had shared. I have a question that may be for a future meeting, but I was catching up on my news and was reading about some legal action in New Haven regarding corrosion with their WPCA, and just was curious about perspectives on how we think about, I know we do a lot of pipe replacement and things like that, but just given kind of that attention, was curious if that's something that would be a topic for this forum, if not now, in the future.
You said it was pipe replacement, Jennifer? I didn't hear the first part. It cut out a little bit.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry about that.
No, that's okay. I just want to make sure I answer it right.
Yeah, no, like, basically last year, there was a spill related to, I guess it sounds like stemming from pipe corrosion in New Haven. I'm no technical expert. I could certainly be framing that inaccurately, but it's not very often that WPCAs make the press. So I was just curious if that
Usually
was
when it
something.
is, it's not good.
Yes, correct. So, and I was just curious if that had caught the attention of Farmington, just from a
Yeah, so
taking note and proactively thinking about that.
yeah, to touch on that, I mean, I did read the story, and typically it is what you said, it's corrosion in pipes from hydrogen sulfide, or you'll get a collapse just from an aged force main, but typically that's also hydrogen sulfide. So we line, and I don't know if you remember us mentioning, it was a Savian Sons. They do a lot of lining for us to prevent the corrosion. We use them at Batterson Park. We use them in other wet wells. We've used them if you drive down where the rock cut is by the, we call it the jug handle, but it's where the Hillstead Museum is. So we've lined basically all the manholes in that area to protect with corrosion, and any streets that we see issues with roots or any of those issues, we will also line those as well. So we do actively do that every year. And it's kind of cheap prevention for that type of problem. So that is something we work on. I don't know if that answers your question or.
Yeah, I think so. I just I guess part of me just wondered I know how much connection we have with the DEEP, for example, and how much regulation exists in this space. So part of me just wonders, like, how could that have happened? But with that, are there, like, what is our preventative, kind of plan of action? So that helps.
To put it in perspective, Farmington has 165 miles of sewers. So you could pretty much go from Farmington to Albany and back. And that's how many areas you probably have to line to be perfect. So you basically go through your problem areas and you start from there and you work your way down. I mean, my guess is they probably had an issue they didn't focus on enough, or it was one of those things that just happened, unfortunately, for them.
Cool. Thanks so much, Mark.
Yep.
Anybody else have any questions? Seeing none. Need a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So move, Kevin.
Peter, hold on, it looks like Jim's coming back on. I can't get- There he is.
You showed up to say hello and showed up to say goodbye.
Jim, are you there?
He's on mute.
Jim?
There he goes.
There he is.
System crash.
Perfect timing. Everything we went through the public hearing and we're done.
Good.
Do you have any questions you want to ask?
No, none.
All right.
Try
They're
for
like, we volunteered you to clean out the next tank, Jim. So you're on for the end of this month.
He's going to be in Georgia.
That's right.
Yeah. So I just think we need a second on the
Yes.
motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Thank you.